That's very interesting. I did not expect that. So we get Gladiator Zalgus to go along with the Tactician Dibs and Tactician Mara.
I have not yet seen Evaniscus playing Mara. Is that something that's a new development, or is that something he's been doing for a while?
It looks new to me. I would have, if
Yeah.
I was to, if I had known Acids was going to play Gladiator Zalgus, I would have thought Evaniscus would have went with Dibs and Taiga would be on Mara. But
You never know. I mean, what goes on in in-house scrims that aren't streamed. You never know. Maybe Evaniscus has been practicing. I mean, either way, we all know that he's a solid player. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we get out of him. I mean, Mara herself is just in the hands of a skilled player. You watch somebody like 50 or like Mianhe play Mara. It's terrifying, right?
Mhm.
Like she just dominates the lane, and you cannot, like with her Bramble Crash, you can't move past her. She's like a wall.
The dawn
She
gate
zones an entire
opens.
area in team fights pretty easily. As we now jump into game here. Take a quick look. Standard item starts all around. The lifes on the laners, the hungers on the ranged ADs, and the resiliences for the junglers. Pings coming out.
Absolutely. King of Masks starting off with the life. Obviously, he's going to go
30
with
seconds until
a
minions spawn.
very. I would say Punisher's going to go with a kind of a typical support King of Masks type build. So we'll probably see like an early either prosperity or maybe devotion out of him. I would imagine. Gladiator Ferris.
Some deep invades from both teams. Oh, they might run into each other here.
It's kind of funny. The mirror invades.
Minions have spawned.
Oh, they're gonna
Playing
loop
a-
around. What's gonna
big-
happen?
It's a big game of Ring Around the Rosie.
Uh-oh,
No.
uh-oh. REEU is still together, and SG is split. SG's caught out or RE is caught out in a bad spot, pincered between all of the SG members.
Yeah, SG is wise to their
Oh, and
shenanigans
there's
now.
the chain, but now they're not together enough to engage five shapers when they're that split. So the threat of the pincer.
Unfortunately, the chain, Zalgus' chain of fate at level 1 isn't really effective because there's no follow-up ability, really, to spread that damage between the teams.
So nothing doing, but the jungle invades. Moya's gonna start over at her power, whereas Salus actually starting at his haste.
What are your thoughts about this Gladiator Zalgus choice? I mean, it doesn't seem, I've played Gladiator Zalgus. He's not as reliable of a Gladiator mage as, say, something like an Ashabel or something along those lines.
He's not, but what Zalgus brings to the table is that incredible amount of upfront burst. And even late game, I've always said that Zalgus is the kind of shaper that can win a team fight late game because all it takes is one good chain and all of that damage gets spread so nicely across the whole enemy team that it changes the complexion of a team fight instantly. If you get 3 people with a chain and open up a full combo on them, that's going to be 3 people at half health or maybe even close to death, which the team that landed the chain can follow up with very easily, and it just saps the morale from the team that gets chained. Scipio comes in with a gank and a nice judgment, lands the snare, but doesn't have a whole lot else to follow up.
Yeah, I mean, Evaniscus just showing everybody why Mara is so tanky and so effective in lane. Evaniscus actually very wisely going with the Tree of Life as opposed to the Snapdragon as his second ability. I think that's a very solid choice, given that the Tree of Life gives the regen and the attack speed.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to trade with Mara when she's standing on the area of her Tree of Life.
That one?
100%. 100%. A little bit of very little bit of trading back and forth on the top lane between Iron Rust and whoever is up there. Sorry, Iron Rust, Taiga, and Punisher. Is it Punisher or Pinisher?
It's Punisher. One of them messaged me in game beforehand,
Okay.
so I could get these pronunciations right. Still have no idea what Rust wants to be called, but
I'm just going to call him Iron Rust. We'll whip it out from there.
Sounds
I actually really like Snitch and Punisher's lane composition because they got 2 dashes in that lane. It's going to be really hard to catch those guys out. I think that Dibs is almost. It seems like Dibs might almost be required to build a duress in this lane. Like, just prioritize one. What are your thoughts on that, Randy?
They could. I'm not really sure. I think the real value of SG's comp is they're looking to. Acids is probably the main component of it. They need to. Zalgus needs to be able to get his full combo out, and yeah, duress will help him do that. But he's not laning with Dibs, so that's something that won't come into play until later on, and they're more grouped up.
Yeah, I think this point in the game, like Dibs and Varian is probably the bigger choice. Like I was talking about earlier, if he had gone with something like an Ashabel, you definitely would have wanted Dibs and Ashabel laning together, just because the capability of popping those nightmares is so easy with Ashabel. So.
It was actually RE.NA who made really nice work of that. 8-year-old girl and Dorfer were running that Dibs Ashabel combo earlier today to really great effect. So.
Absolutely.
They've got something planned with this Zalgus pick, though. It fits in the comp somewhere. I have faith.
Already?
No. I'm just saying. You son of a...
Faith is such a good item against
Well, if
Zalgus.
Renzo picks up a Faith, it might diminish the effectiveness of Zalgus, so we'll see if he elects to build that way. Fearust very low, but they get a nice bit of harass onto Punisher.
That's a decent amount of trading back.
Ooh, the landfall out of nowhere from Kuss. He's going to drop him back. They combo with the chain. Meanwhile, first blood happens up top lane, and Dorfer blinks away.
Yeah, while landfall was going on down bottom, Salas just came in and.
Oh, now Moya chasing Scipio here. So tandem ganks from the junglers end in a net gain for REEU. They get the kill. Meanwhile, a nice blink from Renzo saved him from certain death.
Absolutely. You know, Cuss is already ahead of Scipio. I'm sorry, not Scipio. Who's Scipio? Yeah, Scipio and Salas. Cuss is already ahead of Scipio, just a little bit. That's good. He needs to stay on top of his farm and also stay on top of the levels. Kind of just waiting and laying in wait here. Not going to have his landfall yet, but he may be able to land a stun on a Ferris as he recalls out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the one thing about Faris's flashback is it does leave the hologram behind, and if you can time it well, if he uses it aggressively, you can go to where he's going to flash back to and just kind of be waiting for him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the trick with Ferris. Is like you never.
Oh, they catch Dorfer out with a stun. Can they finish him this time? He's really low. Are they going to dive underneath this binding? Cuss wants it, but the Renzo's embrace goes off. The final protocol goes off to Cuss. I don't think he's going to survive.
Spirit player has been slain.
He did not. He got a little bit greedy there, but I think at that point, like a 1-for-1 may have been worth it. It all depends on whether or not Scipio takes advantage of this and uses it as an opportunity to get ahead of Cuss. Like I was saying earlier, though, you know, the trick that I've been told against, you know, when laning against or trying to basically be effective versus a Ferris is never aim for where he is, just aim for where he's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, and now we get 8-year-old girl gets a little caught out. He eats the final chapter, but it doesn't have enough punch to finish him yet.
Not quite yet. Give him another, probably about 8 minutes, and that would have been a dead Ferris right there. Cuss heading back into his jungle. He's going to head up top. He's going to hit a couple of these smaller camps just to make sure that he's not falling too far behind.
Dibs getting taken down pretty low here in the top lane as Punisher and Snitch start to get control of this top lane. Keeping Iron Rust and Taiga on their heels. Taiga's going to go back and shop, see what he's going to pick up. We see a Pride coming out for Cuss. We see a Desire on Iron Rust already. Form on Scipio. Devotions for Dorfer and Punisher. An Aggression on Acids and a Vigor on Evaniscus. So
Cuss is picking up that Pride. He's going to be more than likely building that into a Vengeance. That is an outstanding item on Moya. Any attack speed based shaper really does very well with that. Is able to proc that the Michael Bay explosions quite often.
Yeah, I expect him to sit on the Pride a little bit first and start to tank up a little more. Maybe finish his Ambition. Maybe grab a Freedom.
Yeah, I think that's probably a very accurate assessment there. I would say against this team comp, I don't know. Do you think he's gonna go for the Freedom first or the Ambition first against this group?
Ambition will help him clear faster, but Freedom will help him in team fights. He's going to have to do something to deal with the CC because Renzo and King of Masks and Salas can do a really nice job of locking Moya down. So he's going to have to pick up a Freedom and turn it into a momentum or a stability at some point.
Yeah,
I just don't know where his priorities lie, but here we go, a gank coming in onto Acids, he blinks away, Cuss comes in, the Masterpiece comes up and knocks up Zalgus, but the Absolution comes out from Renzo, Dibs is flying in, RE is on the run, there comes the landfall, he scooped him up, he's going to bring him down, can Scipio get out? He can't, Mara is there with Nature's Fury popped, and they that's a nice pickup for SG.
Absolutely, Cuss, an outstanding job from Cuss there of just basically waiting patiently to pull that trigger, because I think with a lot of I would say less experienced Moya players, the immediate desire is to landfall and get somebody out of the fight and reposition as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're right.
SG is gonna use this opportunity to try and secure a parasite. It's a little bit risky.
Not gonna let him go down without a fight though. They don't have their jungler. Oh, there we go. Spirit does pick it up. Snitch pops his Reckoning. Punisher and Snitch are on the run. Cuss giving chase. They pick up King of Masks. They turn their attention onto Snitch. Meanwhile, Evaniscus and Taiga going big on 8-year-old girl and Dorfer. Meanwhile, Ronan has dropped up top. Scipio is now here. Here's the judgment. He lands the one recast. Will he cast it again? No, they're just going to look to try and disengage this fight.
Yeah, that was a well-timed judgment from Scipio there. He came in, I think, at just the right time. Basically, was like, we should back off, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what RE was trying to do with that Parasite with Scipio not there.
Yeah, that was a questionable choice. Like, I personally, without your jungler there and with a jungler like Cuss, the chances of you getting it are slim to none. I get what they were trying to do with trying to initiate and at least delay it. Maybe if they delayed it long enough, Cuss could get a chance to get out there. But, you know, SG just showing tremendous discipline and staying focused on the Parasite.
Yeah, and really splitting off after the Parasite fell and going for the priority targets. Acids, Evaniscus, and Taiga were down bottom. Meanwhile, Cuss and Iron Rust were up top, taking out Ronan and King of Masks. So really nice cleanup from SG at the end of that fight.
Very good cleanup. And unfortunately for RE, they got separated and zoned there. It was just a really bad situation for them to be in. Evaniscus is starting to get tanky. What do we see? We already have a prosperity at 11 minutes. He probably got that at right about 11 minutes. And he's following it up with another life. That of course is going to have a ramping effect. That's going to get better the longer the game goes on. I'd say that's always a very solid pickup on Mara. Do you think that we're going to see kind of a dual Michael Bay between Mara with a vengeance and Moya with a vengeance? Is that going to happen?
I don't know. I want to say Evaniscus is going to turn that life into something out of the Purity Tree. Possibly the Devotion, since Taiga has the Pestilence. Teams usually like to go for both. The Punisher getting taken down really low here, using the Finale, but it doesn't land. It's Mark. Scipio is here trying to give chase. They're going to take out Iron Rust. Now their attention is turned onto Taiga, who's trying to fly away, but Dibs already used the second recast. Scipio is here. He's looking to land the Judgment. Dibs uses a nice Ripple and the Dream Wrap, but here's the rest of the team. A Masterpiece separates Acids and Evaniscus, but Cuss is here on the back line. That's what we're talking about the chain and the final chapter. But Cuss misses his landfall, but they're still going to pick up Snitch anyway, and that's what I was talking about with Zalgus. When you land that chain on 3 people and you open up that combo, Acids picking up the triple kill and a 5-for-2 trade in favor of SG.
That was just brutal. The Chains of Fate into the final chapter, decimating the enemy team. I mean, good night. Well
Acids
played.
picked up that destruction on his recent back. His ult wasn't even level 11, but you saw how much damage that full combo does, even with just a base destruction. So Zalgus bringing the heat early on here.
Yeah, Royal Elixir is prioritizing on King of Mass. It looks like they're prioritizing a duress they're going for. He has a Purity. He's not built any magic resist. I think we're going to start to see some of these guys pick up a little bit of magic resist because of that, especially with Acids already having the destruction. He already has a force. That's going to turn into a divinity very quickly.
Punisher goes in onto Taiga, lands the empowered Captivate. Taiga on the run, uses Dream Wrap to try and get away. Meanwhile, Iron Rust lands a Chaos Shell trying to defend his friend, but now he's on the run. The Judgment lands. Fearust uses the Dispel. Meanwhile, Cuss on the backside trying to take out Snitch. He uses Reckoning. He's trying to bolt away. Scipio is going to get away as well. So SG not able to collapse on one target allows RE to survive and escape with their lives.
And you saw the team; they were saying, "Look at Varian, look at Varian. He's super." No, sorry, not look at Varian. Look at Salas.
Dorfer blocks the final chapter, saving Snitch's life.
Renzo makes poetry of his
And then a push-up for good measure.
And a push-up, yeah, that could have been bad news for Snitch there. Cuss is in a little bit of a scary position there, and he doesn't want to get caught out, especially with his team falling back like that, and he wisely decides to fall back as well. So, Rare Elixir having a little bit of trouble right now, behind by 4 kills, falling behind by levels. The tacticians for Surreal are keeping pace with the highest levels in the game right now. That's gonna impact the mid game a lot.
Oh, the Tailwind is popped. They're giving chase under this binding. This is an aggressive play from RE. Now SG seeming to turning it around. Taiga is going to escape with a Slither of Health. Sliver of Health, a nice masterpiece to protect Punisher, and the finale comes down. Fearust trying to escape. Cuss with a beautiful landfall to save his AD carry. Punisher still trying to escape this fight. Cuss is going to pick up a kill on Salas. Dorfer gets caught in a chain, and he blinks away, but the burning effect from Pride will finish him off.
Wow, Cuss and Evaniscus, masters of peel right there.
Saving Fearust.
Outstanding. Saving Iron Rust. Not just saving Iron Rust, saving Dibs too. Dibs is Taiga's extremely
Punisher gets chained and the Great Rift takes him out under the binding. Acid's trying to take, maybe he's been watching Evaniscus play Tactician Zalgus. He's like, I got you, bro, but I'm going to play a Gladiator.
If Rare Elixir is not going to build Magic Resist now, they're going to find them.
Snitch gets caught out, uses Bolt to avoid the Snapdragon.
Yeah, they really need to pick up some wills. Just one will, will do such an amazing job of reducing the amount of magic damage you take. You can see that Cuss there has already picked up his vengeance. Michael Bay in full effect right now. Every third attack, that nice explosion.
So here we go as Team SG does Parasite. We'll take a look at the items. You see Punisher has finished his arrest. You see the pains coming out on 8-year-old girl and Snitch. SG is going to look to probably shop here and keep pace with these items. They've all got to be fat and happy on Vim.
All right, so that's about 16:32 for that Parasite. So in about 5 minutes from now, 21:32, we're going to see that Stage 2 Parasite coming back into play. That's going to be right before it goes into Stage 3, a little bit before it goes into Stage 3. So I think we're going to see an aggressive play on that Stage 2 Parasite. They're going to try and get it before it evolves. What do you think about that, Randy?
It's possible. I think SG is just going to be able to dictate the rest of these fights. I mean, if you look at their level advantage right now they've all gone back and shopped. They're looking pretty big. I think they can kind of dictate the pace of this game if they don't caught out and give up a pick or two.
Absolutely. Rare Elixir taking advantage of SG going back to shop, trying to burn
chained underneath the binding. Scipio trying to escape, uses the blitz, but SG gives chase with Tailwind. Renzo tries to stop the chase with the Masterpiece. Dorfer's caught all by himself. He will drop, so RE's got to avoid this fight. Oh no! But Dibs flying in with Reverie. Here's a blink from Evaniscus. He throws down the Bramble Crush. Taiga gets taken out by Faris. The final chapter lands onto Scipio, but it doesn't net the kill. They're going to blink to give chase, but I think Scipio might get away, but the Snapdragon is too good from Evaniscus, and it will not allow an escape today.
Evaniscus gives 0 cares about that binding.
Has been destroyed.
He is in full-on tank mode. Already has his... Oh, wow, he built into a Glory.
Yeah, he went to a Glory, not a Vengeance or a Devotion item.
You know, I think at this point that makes a lot of sense. I mean, SG is getting so far ahead, they just want to prioritize doing as much damage as possible. Burn these guys down. They're seeing that, Rare Elixir is starting to prioritize a little bit of Magic Resist, but they saw that Rare Elixir wasn't prioritizing Magic Resist as a stat for their most vulnerable targets, so it makes sense. It makes sense to go straight into that. So that's now two in-your-face melees who are going to be putting on stacks, putting on the burning stacks. I mean, that's going to add up. That's a lot of damage.
That's just more magic damage coming out from Team SG.
Absolutely. Evanisca's taking that bottom Spirit Well there. Now the 4-cap Spirit Well, that's going to start to add up really quickly. We've got about another 2.5 minutes or so before this Parasite respawns into a Stage 2 Parasite. I don't think RE has much of a chance in this game at this point. I think they need to focus on, focus on farming, focus on playing passively, and just kind of hope they get a chance to catch Zalgus out, because it really is their only hope.
They do that, and they have to catch him out before he unloads his full combo. That's the key. If Zalgus is able to drop all of that damage and die in the process, then he's done a good job. His team should be able to clean it up because of how strong he is right now. He's got that divinity. He's got the destruction. He's got an energy. So he's pretty big right now. That's a fair chunk of SG's damage. But Kuss is also pretty fed on Moya at 5-1 and 4. Evaniscus is 2-0 and 12, and he's just a walking wall of health right now. So
absolutely,
they're gonna have to. RE is gonna have to play it perfectly in the next team fight if they want to come out ahead.
And Taiga did end up prioritizing that duress, so yeah, these guys are. It's gonna be a little bit rough. They knew what they needed to do to basically work around the dashes, the mobility of the enemy team, and it's been effective to this point. I don't think they're gonna end up. I don't know. Rare Elixir's gonna have a very challenging time trying to catch out.
They're trying to catch Kuss here, but level 16 versus level 11. Oh man, Kuss goes in with the landfall, waiting for the reposition, waiting for his team to get there. They go in onto Kuss. He's trying to distract over on the top side. Meanwhile, the rest of SG is approaching from the south. They pick up King of Masks. They pick up Faris. Now they're continuing on to Stitch and Dorfer. There's the final chapter, but Dorfer will survive. Maybe. The chase is still on. The blinks are coming out. They take out Renzo. Stitch gets the rest. But he's trying to run. He's trying to escape. I think he will, but oh no. Mara's still giving chase. The Snapdragon lands onto Stitch. Can he get away? He can't. And the surrender comes out, and GG for SG.
Wow, that was unfortunate in a lot of ways there. I think if RE had focused a little bit more on defensive stats,